You can't recover from that, can you?
Yeah, I know.
I'm asking you actually. Oh
Oh,
shoot.
what?
You can't recover from that then at that time after you.
Yeah, what can you say after that point? You make up excuses. I always say people lie about one little stupid thing, and that's what does them in.
That's why I don't even want to do those depositions, man. They are. I remember. Whew.
The landlord that I had on the stand in my trial for that big personal injury action, it was the same thing. He did a lot of things right. He had an LLC, he had his separate bank accounts, but he lied about one stupid little fact that didn't even need to be lied about.
Really?
And it just made the tower of cards crumble. Because once I showed that he lied about something that was of no consequence, the jury was able to think, well, if he would lie about that, I'm sure he's lying about this because this is important.
Wow, that is. Can you vote not to do a deposition?
No. Once you're in trial, you do depositions because in a civil case, you're allowed to not testify. You could just put the deposition in. Like in a criminal case, the prosecutor has to put on a live witness. In a civil case, you don't. You can just put in the deposition. So you have to do the deposition.
But you can't plead the fifth on civil.
Right.
Is that true? I don't know.
No, you can always plead the fifth. You can always plead your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent.
Why wouldn't they just do that? I'm like, I plead the fifth.
Well, because then the jury is going to think if you don't establish your right in this legal action or your defense in this legal action, then the other side, if you don't put your story out there, who's the jury going to believe?
Oh, man. All right, class. I hope please. I hope you never have to get deposed. Those depositions, people think that they're real light. They just think I'm going to go in and answer some.
Right. I mean, I've been preparing for days, right? I know every email, every text message, every, I have them like by date, by time. So I'm ready.
Did you subpoena
I'm
that?
ready.
Did you subpoena that or did they have to turn them in?
They had to turn those over in the course of discovery. And again, this is a dispute over a piece of property. So it's right up our alley. Yeah. And so every email they exchanged, every text message they exchanged. I mean, I've got them highlighted and ready to ask her about.
Shit. Before we get to what we're class, I'm let everybody come on. Before we get to what we're talking about HSA today, Jessica is going over something that she's going to be writing about in our monthly newsletter. Jessica, tell us real briefly what you got going on this week.
Yeah, so I've been prepping for depositions in a real property action going on next week.
For people that don't know what a deposition is, Jessica, what is a deposition?
Sure. So a deposition is an opportunity for the lawyers to ask questions of the property owner or anybody involved in the civil action, and it's under oath, and somebody there taking a transcript down of every word you say, and then that gets brought into either the judge or the jury. So it's basically an opportunity to get discovery before the trial. Mm-hmm. And it really is sometimes more valuable than the trial itself. If you don't prepare properly for the deposition, you screw yourself at trial. Like, this is my chance to lock her into her story, to see what she's going to admit to. Can I get her, is she lying about something? If I'm not prepared for this, I give up all the opportunity to get the good stuff.
This is your leverage, kind of like your leverage.
Yes. Because typically, if the depositions don't go well for the party, then they try and settle. Yeah.
You don't let them know what you know. You just ask the question. You know some facts.
That's right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So I know what I have to prove at trial. So I'm going to ask my questions now based upon what I want to come out at trial.
Good God, Jessica. I just think that it's so. You know what? It's that stuff. Greg Penny, he taught me. In reality, when we're talking to sellers, like if I ask you, how much is the house worth? Or, I almost know all the answers before I even ask the seller, like, who owns the property? I want to see first of all, how truthful you're being as we go. It's like a little check.
Yes,
are you truthful?
Absolutely. Right.
Wow.
So you're going to I start out asking questions that are very simple, kind of put her guard down, that I know she's going to answer truthfully. And then you slowly get into the ones that are more controversial.
Come in. Come in. Oh, housekeeper. Tamara, you're saving me every day. You're supposed to say, you know what? Thank you. That makes me feel good. But you never do. God, I don't know. Good Lord. I can't get her to all right. One more question, then we move on. What is at stake here on that deposition in this case? Billy's gone.
So for the client, it's probably thousands and thousands of dollars are at stake. I mean, big money.
You talking about tens of thousands or like hundreds of thousands?
Probably 50, 60,000.
At stake in money wise? I thought you said it was something about property.
Well, they're trying to sell the property and they can't agree on the price.
Oh,
so
okay, gotcha.
Right, it's a forced sale. If they could agree on the price, they would have sold it on their own with a broker or however they do it, and then they just each pocket the 50%. But because they can't agree on the price, they have to pay lawyers on top of, right? They're paying us to fight it out because they can't agree. So they're wasting, No.
How much are they spending on fees to agree on the price?
Oh, a lot of money. We get paid hourly at $300 an hour.
Help me understand this mentality. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Well, sometimes people would rather be right, than rich. I don't know. Sometimes for people it's principle. They'd rather spend the money to be told that they're right, or to avoid accepting responsibility, whatever the case may be. Nobody who goes to trial litigation wise is saving money. At any point, attorneys try and settle it. At any point, they're like, "Hey, listen, come on." I mean, we've tried to settle multiple times. If the other party
already?
Yeah. And if the other party just doesn't want to, and they're willing to spend money on a lawyer, sometimes it's because they're trying to get back at the other person or.
So money's not the.
Right.
Wow, Jessica. No doubt you did not try to talk them out of giving you money.
No, that's not necessarily true. I say to my clients often, don't waste your money paying me, cut your losses, take the deal and go. Look, there's plenty of business out there for me to make money. As an attorney, my belief is I need to do what's best for my client, right? There's always going to be some other person to pay me.
That's true.
So quite often I say to my clients, you're wasting your money on me fighting about this.
What?
Even if you take a loss of $4,000 or $5,000, cut your losses, move on and go. Otherwise, you're just paying me that money and you still might not prevail.
Yeah, they may not even prevail.
But sometimes emotions get the best of people.
I think everybody needs to take one class in entrepreneurship. My mentor always used to say, Chris, you can be right or you can be rich, but you can't be both.
That's right. This is the perfect example.
Good God, my stomach's hurting, Jessica. This stuff, I mean, no doubt you're coming to work every day like.
Yeah. And you know what is too? A lot of times it's ego. It really is. There's a lot of ego involved.
Are these men or women?
It could be any. This particular case, it's a boyfriend and girlfriend who broke up under not so happy circumstance. So you've got a lot of emotion tied up in it.
Oh, well, I can't wait. Obviously, hopefully we will case study this as time goes on, no doubt.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We'll do a video on it. I'm going to write one of our newsletters on it.
Wow.
It's great. It's really good stuff. And, it's funny. The other day, yesterday, I'll tell you, I had a boyfriend, girlfriend come in to see me about setting up a will. They're not married and they're buying a house together. And one of the things we talked about was an agreement to put in place since they're not married. Hey, if we break up, how much do we each get out of the sale of the house? What are our terms? What do we agree to? Who's paying the taxes? Who's paying this? While they're happy and in love, you have that conversation and you draft that document so that they would never find themselves in a situation that I'm litigating right now.
That's very smart. We talked about that last week about partnership.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to put
So,
that
and
together.
a lot of times we talk about stuff on this video, but it really is happening. Like every week, these are my clients, that we're really seeing.
Wow.
So a lot of people think, oh, that'll never happen to me. And I'm like, no, it happens every week. Yeah.
Let me get my pen so I can take notes.
Okay.
I never know what's going to come out of your mouth as we talk. I love it. You never know what you're going to say. But we have to work on that partnership agreement, though. I need to make a note of that.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Or joint venture is what I like to call it.
Yes. Yep. Joint venture agreement.
Man, I gotta. Okay, class, welcome. Sorry for that quick delay. I love hearing about your day.
Yeah, it's okay.
Class, thank you for joining us today at Attorney Time. How do you like is that cool for our little session, Jessica?
I love it. It's very catchy.
Welcome. I am Chris Haskins, and I'm hanging out with Jessica Segal. Good afternoon.
Hello, everybody. And I love my Friday afternoons with you.
Oh, wow.
I'm already thinking about dinner. It's the weekend. I got my date night going on tonight.
That is so cool. That is so cool. Well, thank you. My mission class, if you don't know me, my ministry and quest is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. Today, Jessica called me the other day. She's like, Chris, I just found out. Well, I don't know if you just found out, but you got more information on this thing regarding retirement and health savings and stuff. So Jessica is going to drop it on you today. Jessica,
yes,
what you got?
Absolutely. So I love your mission. Our business really goals and life goals are so aligned because what you're doing, like sort of on video, is what I've been doing in my community for a long time. And it's just really paying it forward. If I learn about something, I want to, knowledge is power. I pass it on to people I talk to in the community. I do events in the community, and I'm always trying to talk to people about how can you save money? How can you grow and develop yourself? It's not just for the rich. It's for the everyday person should know how to do this stuff. And I read a book a few years ago. I know we've talked about this, that you really are a reflection of the 5 people you surround yourself with. And if you're constantly surrounding yourself with, no matter how much fun they are, you love them, the people that, just want to go out and blow their money on stuff or happy hour on Friday night, and they're not ever talking about how can you save money? How could you invest money? What are your goals in life? Then you're never going to really learn those tips. So I really made it a mission of mine to surround myself with people who know more than me. Always got to be someone at my table that knows more than me so I can learn something. And the other...
What book was that you were reading about the 5 people? Do you remember?
God, no, but I'll look it up and I'll get back to you on that. I read so many like personal growth books. It might have been, I listened to James Wedmore, the Business of Becoming podcast. It's really good.
Okay.
And it's a mindset and business growth podcast. And I think I got it from him. And so, what I was actually grab breakfast with this, professional colleague that I know, and she had just retired from a very, very successful career in corporate. And she was telling me about this, and her husband had actually died many years ago. And so she's a single woman, getting ready for retirement. And she was telling me about how she had all this money in an HSA, and I had never heard of it. I didn't know what it was. So over breakfast, she starts explaining to me what a health savings account is. And I'll explain what it is. But she has amassed like $250,000 in this account, basically tax-free, to use now that she's retired.
Holy cow.
And I said to myself, look, I am 45. I'm an attorney. I'm around, intelligent professional people all day long. How do I not know what this is? How have I never heard about this? Why has my accountant, why has my financial advisor, why is my parents, why has nobody ever mentioned this? And then I ask around, nobody knows what she's talking about. So, I always joke around with you. I improve myself with a library card and a Google search bar. I don't have to spend money. Every book I get from the library for free, or I research things online. And I jumped online and looked up what an HSA account is after talking to her. And it is a real thing. Okay. It is a legitimate, vehicle. So what it basically is a government approved account. And it's called a health savings account. And the IRS basically allows you, if you have what's called a high deductible health plan. Okay. So for most entrepreneurs who have their own healthcare coverage, so if you have an employer, like you have a W-2 job, you typically don't have a high deductible plan. A high deductible plan is someone who has to spend a minimum of $1,350 of a deductible before their, free coverage kicks in, basically. Okay. So, for a single person, it's $1,350. If you want to write that down. For a family, it's $3,500 a year. So if you have a high deductible plan, meaning you have to pay that amount first before the insurance coverage kicks in.
Family is what?
$3,500. No, I'm so sorry. Wait, hold on. Let me check my number here. $2,700. $2,700 deductible. Okay. So if you have an insurance plan that requires you to pay that deductible before your coverage kicks in, you qualify for a health savings account. So that's most people, myself included. I don't have a boss. I work for myself. I have through, whatever my insurance carrier is, whether it's MVP, Blue Cross, United, whatever it is, you have a high deductible plan. You're eligible for this account. And a lot of people don't know they exist. It's totally free. My credit union offers them for free. Fidelity, account managers, they have them for free. Okay, you go online, you open a health savings account. So the way it works is it's totally free money. So if you're single, you can put up to.
So this kind of falls under when you say put, does that fall under the term of like contribution to an account? You're putting in your own money? Okay.
Yes. So you can contribute. A single person can contribute up to $3,500 a year, tax-free, into this account.
Excuse me. Okay.
A family plan can contribute $7,000 a year.
Oh man.
So what happens is you put this money into an account. It could be over the course of the year. You could set up an auto transfer of, $50 a week if you want, however you want to do it, or you can wait until the year's up and just dump the money into the account, however you want to do it. What happens is when your accountant does your taxes from your gross income, that amount of money is taken off first. So you're only taxed on your gross income minus whatever amount you put in that account. Okay. All right. So it lowers your taxable income base. So that means it's free money for you. You're not paying money on that tax.
Wow.
Now, when you take that money out for a qualified healthcare expense, which I'll get into in a second, you withdraw it tax-free. So it is tax-free going in. It is tax-free coming out. I don't know any other vehicle with the federal government that allows that.
Okay, give me that. When you said take it out, I would like to maybe stay there for a minute.
So,
we're not necessarily,
right.
Well, I'm thinking taking it out. I'm thinking of this, but I guess we're almost using it for
So, right.
What is that called again? A qualified what?
Qualified health care expense, which is literally almost anything. So a qualified healthcare expense is going to be anything vision related, your eye exam, your contacts, your glasses, LASIK surgery, whatever it is. It's going to be, maybe you take diabetes medicine and have special equipment. It's going to be dental work. I mean, think about how expensive braces, dental exams are. Like a lot of people have health coverage, but they don't necessarily have dental or vision coverage. So you can use this money for that. You can use it for fertility treatments, acupuncture, chiropractor appointments, physical therapy, and also the actual deductible. So you get your the 1350 or the 2700 deductible, you can pay that tax free as well. You can use the money for that.
So
okay,
this is in addition to, so we're using this is almost like you have a regular, when you say deductible, are we having a regular health plan and the HSA pulling money out of that?
Right. So your health coverage is really your insurance policy, right?
Period.
And you have period.
Okay.
The health savings account is just a vehicle to pay those bills.
Gotcha.
So
all right, okay.
So you put the money in that account and then you pay your bills. You pay your doctor, you pay your pharmacist, you pay whatever it is out of that account.
Gotcha.
And there's on the IRS website, if you go onto irs.gov and search for the health savings account, there's a very, very thorough list of everything that's included as a qualified health expense.
Gotcha.
And it's, they're very generous with what's included. I mean, there's weight loss surgery on there.
What?
There's like if you're trying to stop smoking and you get like the patch or the medication to stop smoking. I mean, everything is on there with the exception of over-the-counter medications. Like, you can't buy Tylenol with it. But if you need a prescription medication, that's, you can use it for that.
I would presume that they might even have a credit card where they would have attached to it where you could get your prescription quickly.
I'm sure the credit union has that, right? And then, like any other account, at the end of the year, the bank is going to give you a statement to give to your accountant that shows how much money you put in, so they know how much of a tax credit to give you.
Gotcha.
And I mean, there's things on there also like breastfeeding supplies. And I mean, wow. So I was thinking it even for myself, right? Like from my plan, to give you an example, I have a $2,000 deductible on my plan before my health insurance kicks in. Then I have a $20 copay every time I go to the doctor. And I pay $50 for certain medications and different things like that. So what I do is I think about, okay, how much am I going to spend this year? And I kind of estimate, and then I want to put that money in the account. Now, the reason this is also such a good account, there is no use it or lose it like there are with some other employer plans. So if I don't spend the money, it just stays in the account and rolls over to the next year.
Nice.
And unlike a retirement account, there's no minimum age where you have to take it out. So this woman I was having coffee with, she started putting money into an HSA in her 30s. And now she's in her late 50s. She never touched the money. She didn't need it. But it grew and grew and grew. And now she's got like $250,000 in this account. Okay. Because there's two ways to use the account. You can put it in a bank and just that's it. Whatever you put in is there. Like your credit union bank account. Or what she did was she opened up a free account for the company like Fidelity. There are many out there. And she had them invest that money for a small fee. So she used that health savings plan as an investment vehicle. So it had compound interest effect over like 20 years.
Who was managing that? The actual
Fidelity.
Okay.
The Fidelity custodian managed that. Okay. So she will only pay tax on the gain of the investment, not on her money that she put in. Mm-hmm. So now that she's retired and she doesn't have that health insurance and that cushion, or she's not making as much money, she's going to start withdrawing this money for healthcare expenses.
Wow.
And it's brilliant. And I was almost like angry that I didn't know about it earlier. Yeah, and the first thing I thought of was like, I have to tell Chris about this.
Well, I'm thinking, what can we use it? Can we flip it? Because I want to invest it. If I'm putting, I want to be able to say, okay, we'll use this 40,000 and go put it here and put it back in there. As opposed to having Fidelity invest with it. Is that something that I'm pretty sure they have to have that?
What do you mean?
That's got to be a way to self-direct that. I'm putting more money in, and we got this with this bucket, right?
Yes.
It's got to be a way that we can self-direct it as opposed to having Fidelity invest.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. There's no question. You can invest it how you see fit. It's just that those are like sort of like the brokerage houses, right? That kind of they'll give you the free HSA account as long as you're doing your trades, I guess, through them or something. I don't know. I've never actually looked into the different vehicles for the investing side of it.
I'm gonna look right now. I'm gonna go to Equity Trust while you're talking to see if they have it.
Okay. What is Equity Trust?
Equity Trust is my IRA custodian.
Okay.
They offer self-directed IRAs.
Okay. That's next on my to-do list.
Yes. Let me see. I don't know. Do a search here. You can go ahead though. I'm gonna just keep searching while you're talking.
So no, I mean, so that's, to me, it's one of those things where it's something that people should know about as an option. And I think of the things you have to pay for anyway. You're going to have to pay out of pocket for braces for some, if you have kids, you're going to have to pay out of pocket for your eye exams, your dental exams. Like, why not use free money?
You're right.
You're spending it anyway. For a fact, I go to the dentist twice a year. I go for my eye exam once a year, or whatever it is for you. You had done your video, I said, on your CPAP stuff. If you have a medical condition that you're going to be laying money for, equipment, whatever it is, a sleep study, right? Any of those things, you're going to spend money on, use this vehicle tax-free.
Wow, they're right here. They have it. I'm gonna keep reading while you're talking. Yeah.
And I gotta be honest, I want to look it up too. What is it called? Fidelity what? I'm sorry, what is yours called?
Yeah, well, the company's called Equity Trust Company, but the website is Trust ETC. And just go up in they have a search bar at the top. You can just type in HSA. Tax deductions on contributions, tax-free environment for cash investments in HSA, tax-free distributions if used for qualified medical expenses.
There you go. So they do it too. So you can see how much they charge for it.
Yeah, I don't know how much. This landscaper, Jessica, let me just see what he wants to be right back.
You got it.
Look, listen. Self-directed HSA. It's right here.
It is. Okay.
Self-directed HSA. That's what for me, Jessica, that's why I like our worlds are kind of, but I was raised by the people that they didn't do any conventional stuff, letting the Schwabs of the world, the Fidelities of the world, the Wells Fargo bankers of the world, they didn't let them manage their capital. They showed me how they did it on their own with real estate.
That's fantastic.
So I'm looking here. It says answers to questions about your self-directed health savings account. So I'm presuming I have to obviously do some more research, but it's got to be the same way that a self-directed Roth IRA is functioning.
Yes. Yep. I'm sure it is. I'm going to look at it too.
Matter of fact, just go to search at the top right and click on self-directed HSA or health savings account. They have a special report here. So cool.
Sounds good. So we can even put that link in after.
Yeah, that's cool. Yep. So with self-directed HSA, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm chunking money in, right?
Yeah.
I got $100,000. I want to use that money to invest or loan or do whatever in real estate. It will come out of my HSA, just like it comes out of my IRA. And then when it goes back in there, I'm not touching it. It just all the profit goes back into that account is where I'm envisioning it. That's what we do with our IRA.
Right.
But that's how you grow it super fast. 5 potential benefits from a self-directed health savings. This is so cool. Okay, so class.
So so I know it's kind of not directly our real estate topics, but it goes along with your, elevating people's financial awareness.
Yeah, this is cool. So luckily, I have a wife that just always has. You think you're holding the reins back? This lady went to the movies today. Anyway, she's anchored in the damn ship. She's not moving anywhere. I think that's why we work so well because I'm just like, man, let's just try it.
Well, it's good to have a balance. Yeah, it is good to have a balance. And you're lucky because if you don't, like, I'll say this, if you have a partner or a spouse that has a traditional, what we call the traditional 9 to 5, and they get insurance through their company, you're typically not going to even have this high deductible plan.
Yeah.
But for people, like myself or self-employed, you have to find health insurance somewhere, and the only option is a high deductible plan.
Well,
So this is a way, to kind of help that cost.
Yeah, plus it's free. I mean, shit, I'm thinking of a real estate investor. You're gonna make money on a flip. You could take the shit right off the HUD. It wouldn't even be profit. It would go right into
Yeah,
the account.
that's right. That's right.
That's a great idea. Great
Absolutely.
idea. Thank you for sharing this, Jessica. This is
You're
amazing.
welcome.
That's cool. All
Thanks
right,
for
class.
I'm glad you told me about the equity trust thing too, because I didn't know about that.
Yep, equity trust. I mean, I'm not
There's so many out there. It's just sometimes it's a little, you don't know who to trust, honestly.
right. Well, let me tell you this, Jessica. When I started, guess how many there was?
One?
It was
Yeah.
only one equity trust. It was back in
Okay.
2000. I set mine up in 05, and it was like,
That's amazing. So you started it right when you started your business?
I'm gonna tell you, I tell the story that when the rich white man sits you down, and
Yes.
he said, "Chris, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna show you something that should be illegal." And he showed me how this self-directed Roth IRA worked. I didn't
Wow.
understand. I didn't understand the
Yeah.
shit, but I'm like, you know what? I know the man at that time. He was worth about 4 million because he owned 4 trailer parks, 1 million each. I'm like, you know what? I don't know shit, but I'm gonna do it. What I got
Whatever
to
he
lose?
says, I'm doing it. Yeah. You know what? That's so amazing. I never had somebody like that. I'm learning as I go. So
Mm.
that's fantastic. You've had some really good mentors.
Man, people, when you look at me, they think I know a lot or I'm all this and that, but I'm like, dude, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, Jessica. That's
Yeah.
all I can say.
Yeah. Well,
I'll
and
be
that goes
listening.
back to, who you surround yourself with, right?
There you go. Wow. I didn't even think about that. I think about that. All right, but when I was hanging out with Lonnie though, I was serving, I was attempting to like pay for his
Yeah.
food, and I was
Yeah.
trying. He never would let me pay, but I still was. I'm like, dude, let me pay,
Yeah.
let me pay, let me pay.
Right. And now
Wouldn't
you're
let me
giving
pay.
back, though.
Yeah.
Now you're giving back.
Uh, Well, I'm glad that I get to learn from you. So let's take some quick questions, Jessica, so we can get you out of here.
All right. Sounds good.
Anything else you wanted to go over with this HSA before we take Q&A?
No, those are the basics. And I wrote a little short article for the newsletter on that this month. If anybody wants to follow up on that, I put the IRS website in the article.
I saw that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was meaning to email you about that shortness of my article this month.
I know. I'm sorry. But you know what? After my depositions, I'll have a lot more to write about.
All right, I'll let you off the hook.
Yeah.
Good gracious, I'm typing here like, well, luckily Simone's article is like twice as long, so I had to move yours
Oh,
around.
good. All right. Good. We balance each other out.
You did. All right. King Simba, I'll email you, my friend. Daniel. Daniel, follow up yesterday. I had an option on selling your time. Oh, yeah. Daniel wants to know HSAs are tax write-offs. Is that what they're considered, Jessica?
No, it's not a write-off. It's like a deductible expense.
So for people that don't know what a deductible is, Jessica, because I didn't know what it was before.
Basically meaning that the government is going to only tax you on the income that you bring in. And so this comes off the top number of your income before they tax you. So if, for example, let's say you make $50,000 this year and you've put 3,000 into this account, you're not going to pay tax on 50,000. You're going to pay tax on 47,000.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only best way. I'm not an accountant. I can think of how to explain it.
So it goes right off of your gross.
Yes. Thank you.
Nice. Okay, class, I'm fronting the bill for this thing. I got an attorney here for you, class. I don't know. I want to see some Q&A on here. REI necessities. He's always has some, he or she, I don't know. Can we take the money out to visually see a property? We have to see it at, can we take the money out to visually see a property? We have to see at acquisition appointment. I don't get that one.
So this money is for healthcare expenses, not for real estate investments.
But I'm thinking, Jessica, I'm thinking it's got to be, if you're doing just the term self-directed in my mind means that I'm directing where the growth is coming from.
Right. So you're going to be able to direct the gain on the money you put in, not the principal amount you're putting in. The principal amount you're putting in,
contribution,
that contribution can only be for medical expenses. The gain on that investment, though, is what you can direct into real estate.
That's what it's got to be. I mean, I don't know why they would call it a self-directed HSA if not. But I'll research that though. Yeah, but REI, I'm sorry, who's that? Who asked that? That was REI Necessities. He's always got some good questions. Paul J saying he has to submit the bill for them to approve it. That's nasty.
Yes, I mean that's true. If you should keep receipts from your doctor visits or your purchases for sure. That's why it says it has to be a qualified expense. You have to show that it's a qualified expense, to your accountant. Yep. But like I said, you keep receipts, you scan it, take a picture of it, however you document your receipts.
Yeah, you gotta keep, man. They're gonna come for you one day. You gotta keep all this paper. Kelly Eglon wants to know, does it collect interest, Jessica?
So it depends on the account you put it in. Okay. If you're putting it in an account that doesn't offer that service, no. Like some of them will offer you completely free account to just be a holding vessel. Other places will offer you perks like interest and investing options, but you'll pay fees for that. So you have to figure out what's more cost effective for you.
Paul J said they did give him a card for him to use for his expenses, but he has it with his employee. He loses it if he doesn't use it.
So that's a different account. That's called a flexible savings account. An employer can provide you an FASA, F as in Frank, flexible savings account. That is a program where, yes, you can put money in pre-tax, but if you don't use it, it's lost. The government gets to keep it. So you have to be really careful about predicting how much you're going to need to spend. The reason the health savings account is so great is it doesn't have that use it or lose it restriction on it.
Gotcha. So that's a different vehicle then.
Yes.
You hear that, Paul J? Yeah, I mean, that's going to be different because this is for self-employed and business owners, no doubt, Jessica, correct?
Right, exactly. If you have a high deductible plan through your boss, through your employer, then you can go outside of your company and get the HSA at the bank. The FSA that he's talking about is what your company actually offers you in-house.
Nice. Okay. Okay, she wanted to know if it collects interest.
So she'll have to ask the bank that she's going to choose for that.
Okay, luxury card store. Wow, look at this. He's saying, be careful. If you use the money for anything other than medical bills, the IRS will penalize you.
Yes,
he knows this because he used to sell them when he worked at the bank. Wow.
Yeah, that's true. And that's why we said it has to be a qualified healthcare expense. The government is going to be very generous with their category. Like I said, they include so many categories. If you spend the money on something that doesn't apply, you are going to have to pay tax and the penalty. And that's all spelled out on the government website.
Oh, okay. TB Sweetie wants to know. I guess we're switching gears real quick. Can she use a minor as her trustee on her grantor revocable trust / land trust, Jessica?
Can she use a minor as her trustee? No. Minor can be a beneficiary if there's a trust set up. Cannot be trustee.
Great. I'm glad we answered that one. I think I had that in my list of questions.
Sure.
Class, please smash the thumbs up for Jessica taking time out of her day on All right. Friday. So you're saying you can use only this money for health reasons? Yes.
Yes.
But you can invest the same money? Yes. Does this mean that you can use what you get, Joshua Fox? Does this mean you can use what you get from investing for something else?
Yes. Well, what? No, but what the
Using money. But
the gain, the invested money that you made on your initial principal contribution, that money can go toward be invested, yes, but not the original contribution amount.
I think as we grow and matriculate, Jessica, in my mind, I've got this. I remember Greg Peniel talks about he's got doors. He's like, here's a door for my daughter, my wife, my retirement, this, that. I'm thinking about this HSA. It's just another door where you open, and the money in there, it's locked in there. This is for
Yes.
health stuff. Period. I don't even want to think about
Yes.
using it for something else. Right.
Right. Now, that being said, what I guess any growth in there because of investments. Let's say you put in $5,000 and next year there's 7,500 in there because you had a good investment. You can use all of that 7,500 for medical expenses. Okay, if you needed it.
Yep.
But if you wanted to take that $2,500 gain, you could, and use it for something else. You could, but not the original 5,000 you put in.
But I don't want to do that. I mean, my thing is that's tax free too. I mean, this shit's going. Oh no, you're saying this is the gain is taxed on this account.
Yes, the gain will be taxed, but not what you originally put in and pull out.
Gotcha. All right. We had to do some research on the self-directed because I know my gain on my self-directed, my contributions are taxed, but my gain is not taxed. I have to. Is this so? Are we saying the traditional HSA and the self-directed HSA are the same, or do we know that yet?
I have no idea what a self-directed HSA is. I didn't know that existed until you pulled that up. So
that'll be next week.
Then we can follow up with that next week because I'm just as curious to look into that now.
You know what? It's my fault, Jay, because I was supposed to be. Our goal class is we talk before 30 minutes to get our ducks in a row. But I had a death in the family, and my wife took off work today, so I'm working, still trying to get it right. Jessica, sorry about that. That's my fault.
No worries. Yeah, we can follow up next week on it.
Yeah, I think that'll be a great topic because I'm in my head. Anyway, we'll talk about self-directed later.
All right. Well, if anybody wants to follow up with a question or something, feel free to email me. I know you put my email in your notes.
Yeah. We got some more questions, Jay. You got time or are you gone?
I got 2 more minutes.
Oh, okay. Does this mean you can use this? Can you talk about lease option? Hold on. I'll come back to the lease option when Jessica's gone. Carter, I'll get to real estate stuff when she's gone. Oh, just Panky wants to know a little bit more about term life insurance as opposed to can I always get another term policy to take me into my 90s? Wow. Jessica, what's your opinion on that? She wants to know. I can't remember. I can always get another life. Oh.
I'm not a life insurance update. I really don't know what the rules are on that, but I think that's a great thing for them to be thinking about, though.
Yeah. I don't see any other questions, Jay. Okay, final thoughts for our viewers on this HSA thing today, and we'll let you go.
I'm thrilled to learn new ways to save myself money, and so the parting words for the weekend are, just continue to surround yourself with people who can teach you things. There's always somebody out there who's learned something that they can, if you're open to learning, if you walk around thinking you know everything, you're never going to get any, so you're never going to get anywhere. So if you constantly walk around asking other people, hey, how do you do this? What do you know about that? I drive around listening to podcasts and I read when I'm waiting, in court and different things. I'm always trying to learn new things. And so, just be open to it, I would say to people. But, anybody watching your channel is open to it. That's why they're here. So
that's right. All right. We'll let Jessica go. I'll do some more Q&A on here. Jessica.
All right. Have a good weekend. Take care.
Talk to you.
Bye.
All right, class. Clezzy. Let me kick her out of here. You are mine now. I got you for a few more minutes. It's Friday. My aunt, my mother's sister passed away. I'm mourning, but I'm thinking about my day today. My wife took off work. All I do is serve. My wife took off work. So I'm in ultimate service mode today. Gotta make sure she's got her lunch. Gotta take her to the movies. I'm like, all you do is serve and then we die. You serve and then you die. You serve until you die. You work until you die. Okay, I'll do some quick Q&A, class. Make sure you give your boy a thumbs up. Thumbs up. And we'll do some quick Q&As here so I can get out of here. Well, I don't have anything to do other than videos. Any questions for me? I saw some stuff on here. Carter Living. Can I talk about lease option regulation standards? I don't know anything about that. I have a tenant who wants to put 10,000 down. I would go get that. Is there any cap or risk with taking more? The house is only worth 55,000. Man, you better go get that money. If you're doing a lease option, you might want to just go ahead and do a land contract. That way they're the owner, Carter. But lease options fair game, my friend. Unless you're in Texas. Just Panky. Oh, no that. Nelson, yeah, I don't know about that. That was for Jessica too. Mm. Abdullah, hey, my friend. Do I have a self-directed Roth IRA? Absolutely. That's the only way I was taught back in 2006. Lonnie Scruggs. When the rich white man, not a rich white man, but when the rich white man sets you down and pulls your coattail, he's like, Chris, let me show you something, player. Let me show you something, player. You got to listen. Thank you for your prayers, class. Yeah, I'll be going to see my mother. How to talk to buyers and sellers. Okay. Abdullah, what's the best skip tracing? There's a whole bunch of them. I know Eddie uses Data Zap. He pulls all my stuff. I heard to avoid a dual on sale clause protection for mortgage can amenity for a properties put business assets into a family limited partnership. Is this true? Not quite sure about that one, Kelly. Do I have a script for talking to buyers and sellers? I do actually. Take me some time to get that up. It's on PDF. Jonathan Lawhorn, I can get you that though. Should I start an old to get started? Jonathan, what are you talking about? What are you talking crazy? Michael Burrows, what up, Dukes? What up, dog? I found a house in my neighborhood that's behind on taxes. What's the best way to approach them? I found out the house was given to him by his grandfather. That's pretty cool. Michael, in this day and time, I would skip trace him, get his cell phone number, send him a text message. Hey, I'd like to talk to you about buying your house. Oh, LLC. Should I start an LLC? I mean, you don't have to, but you can though. Joshua, basic real estate question. I'm 22. Oh man, you are going to set the world on fire. Joshua, trying to get started in real estate. All info that I've gotten has been extremely basic, and I don't have thousands of dollars to spend on classes. First steps, please. Joshua, you need to start. Well, I suggest or recommend you just to drive for dollars, my friend. If you don't have money, I promise you're going to have money for driving. Unless you're in Manhattan, which I don't. I hope you don't live there. Driving for dollars, my friend, is going to be the best place to start. It's free. That way you can get your letters, send them out on spare time. CC's Corner. Hey, or am I willing for me to help and respond to emails for you and trade for training? Respond to emails. I don't understand that one. CC, I'm not understanding you on that one. I'm sorry. Send that over to me again so I can get a better understanding. But if you need some training, I have to charge you. I mean, good God, I only have some certain amount of day. I mean, I could literally CC take calls and emails 8 hours a day just for questions that come in. I could literally do that. I'm having to hire somebody just to respond to emails. I mean, I'm prayerfully trying to get as much done as I can, but in order for me to work with you, I've got to have some type of for my time. I don't have any more free time. Like the word free time doesn't even exist in my world, other than all this stuff I do for you for free. But the second I get off of here, I'm back to work. Nelson, what's the best way to start off with an LLC sole proprietor? I would just go to irs.gov, download the doc. Okay, class, my final thoughts for today. Don't forget, subscribe to my channel, my friends. I love you. Thumbs up. Share this content with other real estate investors. And what other wealth preservation or wealth creating entities or buckets, if you will, are you using? Please put that in the comments below, because all I know about is self-directed investing. That's all I know. I was taught by Lonnie Scruggs, RIP, my boy. I feel like I'm a vessel. I feel like the knowledge was bestowed on Lonnie. He got a chance, opportunity to drop it on me. I'm dropping it on you. Now you're gonna get to go out. It's so crazy. The more I put out to the world, it's like my network just just grows and grows and grows. It's so nice. But yes, my final thoughts were I wrote it down. You know, I'm thinking about you all day long. Oh, I wanted to tell you, I'm reading a book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff by Richard Carlson, I think. Richard, damn, I can't never remember. Don't sweat the small stuff. And he talks about letting the other person win an argument or letting them win their beliefs. It's okay. Like, not everybody wants to invest in real estate and be this accumulator of wealth and accumulator of stuff, because a house is just another piece of stuff, right? It just happens to throw off cash. In my world, a house is nothing but a cash generator, you know? So, but I meet people around the country and they're like, you know what? I pay rent. I'm happy. I don't want to own any houses. I'm focusing all my money on investing cash for cash, like paper assets. And I'm like, you know, if that works for you, I'm trying to tell myself not everybody needs to have a bunch of real estate. You know, it's not for everybody. And when I speak to people, I'm passionate. I'm sure you've noticed that I got a little chip on my shoulder because I want people, this is what I want real estate to look like. You know, I want real estate to look like this, not tie and all stiff briefcase walking around, you know, doing deals. That's what real estate looked like in 2004 when I got in. So I want to make real estate cool, look like this. This is what real estate and success. What I want real estate to look like this. All right. So that's my goal. So, but in the chip on my shoulder, sometimes, class, I could be real like when I talk to people, but I have to step back and say, you know what? You're right. You're right for you. You know, I don't want to, only way I'm going to give my opinion if someone asks or you're on my channel, so I get to give you my opinions on stuff. But don't sweat the small stuff. Great book. I would say give that one a try. A few more questions. Save me a spot. And Andre, cool, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. REI necessities. You have a lead. Okay, they want to sell their land. All right, I'm ready to buy for 5,000. Good God Almighty. The two comps to new construction are going at 218 lot size. House bills for 22. Okay, yeah, that sounds like it's a deal. But I'm nervous about. Yeah, that sounds like a good deal. Yeah, send it. Can you wholesale it? Mm, depends on what the last lots sold for. You need to go find out what those lots sold for. REI necessities. Mueller. Who is Mueller? I don't even know. Jonathan, do I have a yeah? Email me. All right now, I have one-on-one coaching in my inner circle, and I have my documents that we provide and negotiating. Jonathan, email me. krisbuyshouses. Class, I love you. See, please say a prayer for your boy. I'll be traveling over the weekend to visit my mother and her sister, moving on to the afterlife. So just pray for us as we are in this time of mourning, as I still try to serve. I'm just a servant, right? The more I serve, the more we're blessing our community. Okay, class. Thumbs up, share the content, and I'll see you Monday. Oh yeah, Monday. Oh wow, I got my friend coming. We're gonna be going over. Oh man, she is just a superstar, world star giver, a value creator, Miss G. We're gonna be talking about Airbnb and how she's just killing it. So Monday, 2 o'clock, Monday Masters. I'll see you then. God bless you, class. Peace.